Paranormal Podcast contains content that might not be suitable for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. This is Paranormal Podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Paranorm, the podcast where we chat all things true crime. There we go. I'll probably get it out sometime today. And paranormal. I'm Emily.
I'm Sierra.
And this week we are talking about a lovely poltergeist.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't think we've talked about one of those yet. We've talked about some nasty ghosts, but no poltergeists.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep. That's
Probably
all I remember.
that's the train we'll ride. But first, how are we doing this week? I know I'm fucking tired. I feel like you guys can probably sense that because I fucked up the intro that I say every freaking week. So.
Yeah, I'm not doing bad, I don't think.
I would hope not. We we went shopping today and got Sierra a desk.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool. We went, what day was that? We went the other day and we went to like 6 different furniture stores.
I think it was Wednesday.
Yeah, Value City Furniture is not a value, guys. That shit is expensive.
Yeah.
And they only had like one desk at like the rooms to go that we went to. So
I guess they didn't have offices as their room to go.
Yeah, it was very strange. But we found a desk at Habitat for Humanity of all places. And I'm going to repaint it, which is what I do with all of our furniture, especially when I'm bored, which I have been. So, I mean, yeah, I feel like that's everything else has just been just a mess. Like a whole ass mess, which I think that's why I'm so exhausted. That, and I'm trying to cut back on my caffeine usage, so that's very interesting. I'm shaking my head no because it's not, because I'm fucking sick of it and I've only started today.
Yeah.
Yeah, my therapist was like, 5 to 6 2-liters a week might be a lot, which it's a casual.
Better than 7.
Yes, it is.
That's 1 2-liter a day, so you're not doing that.
I'm not doing that. So instead of my lovely Diet Coke, I'm drinking Sprite with 0 sugar, and it's an experience that I'm not thrilled with at the moment. But I feel like that's everything I have to get filled in on, right? Probably. I'll think of something.
Yeah.
I always do. Especially at the end of the episode. I always come in strong, like, oh guys, guess what? But as of right now, I can't think of anything.
We got a new fridge.
Oh, we did get a new fridge. That was a fucking shit show. So the people came and put it in, and then they were like, well, we can't actually put it in because you have to turn off the water, and I didn't know how to turn off the water, so it was a whole ordeal. And then they were like, well, we can't even screw the water thing back on so our ice machine works, so they just left. And I attempted to get down on the floor and screw it back in, but I couldn't get back up, so Sierra had to leave work and come help me because I still am in my boot, and my hip is still like a 96-year-old woman's hip. So, yeah, I got stuck in the floor. That was pretty fun. Yeah, I was sitting there for like 50 minutes, probably. Yeah, like near 50 minutes, just chilling. Thankfully, I had my phone, but I got up and my leg was very asleep. So, all right, you're going to talk about a poltergeist?
Yeah, let's do it.
I feel like since I'm the one talking, I have to stay awake, but this is going to be an actual task because like my eyes are so heavy. Like that one episode where you fall asleep, that's what I feel like right now. All right. So, anyway, let's get going. This starts at a white and green ranch style home. It was built in 1953. The address is 1648 Redwood Path. The house also just happens to be right down the road from another haunted home, which is the inspiration between the Amityville Horror. Do you know what that is?
I know of it, yes.
Yes, okay, I'm proud. This house contained 3 bedrooms, a bathroom, a kitchen, a small dining room, a living room, and a basement that was like divided between a utility room and a playroom. In other words, it was the typical 1950s era home, which sounds almost exactly like our old house, in a quiet, conservative neighborhood. Also sounds like our old house. With public parks, like tree-lined streets, like picture perfect kind of ordeal. It was located in, I don't think I said this, but Long Island, New York. So like right where all that good stuff happened.
Where Mike's from?
Who's Mike?
From work.
Oh.
Mike.
Oh my god. Okay.
Sorry.
Don't get me off track right now. All right. Anyway, this increasingly boring house, because like seriously, this is like every cookie cutter house and that was built in the 50s, was home to a man named James Herrmann and Herrmann's wife named Lucille, which I think is just so cute. It's just such like a cute little old lady name, you know?
I mean, yeah.
Yes. And their 2 teenage children, Jimmy and Lucy. It was the last place you would expect anything out of the
Wait, they named her Lucy?
Yes. Yeah. Okay, I just realized that just now. That's why I did not say anything. But yeah, her name was Lucy, which is kind of hilarious. Well, and Jimmy's short for James.
Oh, man.
So it's like Lucy Jr. and James Jr., which we were just talking about this the other day. Like, which parent do you think I'm like the most like junior wise? And I would say none of them. Like, I have aspects from every one of my parents, but I'm also vastly different than every one of my parents. However, Sierra is her mother's child. Like, it's like copy paste. It's so fucking, it wilds me out sometimes, because like she'll say certain words and like the way she says it, like her voice inclination is the exact same as her mother's. And I'm just like, what? I'm sorry, what? So yeah, genetics, man. That stuff just wilds me out. Like, because I'm nowhere near that. And I also think that's like genetics, because obviously I'm adopted. So like that doesn't happen with my parents. But like even with my birth dad, there's nothing that he says that I'm like, oh.
Right. But there's also like, there's no nurture there on his part. Like you didn't hear him say those things. Like you never would have like ingrained those things into your memory because he wasn't there. So like, there's that part too.
Yes. So yeah, it's wild to me sometimes, especially like there's certain words that you say where it's just like, oh my goodness, that's your mother. So it's just so cool to me. Anyway, so it was the last place you'd expect anything out of the ordinary to happen. However, where the home was, the land that it's underneath, does that make sense? On? Yeah, there we go. It just so happens to be like the largest place in New York where the most Native Americans were murdered because white people are terrible. They came in, and it's like where present-day Merrick and Cedar Shore roads like intersect in Massapequa. They were murdered by John Underhill in 1653, which is a hell of a long time ago. This killing was done on behalf of the Dutch, so just confirms white people suck, because yes, let's come in and murder everybody who already lives there and then say we discovered it. Super cute. 10 out of 10. The most famous chief of Massapequa tribe was Sashim Takapasha, who sold a large part of the area in 1658. And I use that word sold very, very lightly, because you and I both know that is not the case. It was February 3rd when like the whole shit happened with the Herrmanns. So we're jumping back in time now. We're like going forward, back to the Herrmanns.
Oh, okay.
So all this like terrible shit happened on this land. So there's already like negative vibes. It's already right down the street from another not so nice ghost interaction. All right, so anyway, February 3rd, apparently it was a nice clear day. In 1958, Lucille Herrmann welcomed her 2 children home from school. James Herrmann was at work in New York City. Shortly into like their normal like afternoon routines, the single-story ranch-style home exploded with popping noises. A sound of a bleach bottle in the basement, liquid starch in the kitchen, a shampoo and soap bottles, and a flask of holy water in the master bedroom all popped their tops, spilling their contents. Also, why is there holy water in the bedroom?
don't know.
It's strange, right? I don't really know how Catholics behave. Like,
I don't know. Maybe like for nightly prayers.
You need holy water for nightly prayers?
I don't know. I don't know anything about Catholicism really, but maybe.
Probably. And I know they're Catholic because of what happens a little bit. So anyway, all of those things all of a sudden went popped open. Lovely sound effects, don't you think?
Pew, pew.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so after calling her husband about the odd occurrence, the couple chalked it up to humidity, which, what?
I mean, I guess if it gets like too hot, like it could pop off if it's not screwed on very tight.
Yeah, but that many things?
I don't know, man.
Okay, so they just laughed it off as like okay, that's a weird thing. And Herrmann James, the dad. Herrmann James. We'll get there eventually. Okay, advised his family to stay calm and to not tell anyone.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Sure, whatever. That would be the first thing I fucking told you. Guess what happened in our kitchen the other day?
Well, you don't want people to like think you're weird or something, and then you'd be like,
I'm pretty sure people already think I'm weird.
Yeah, but like if people don't think you're weird, then you go and tell them that happened.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so 2 days later, it happened again in nearly the same pattern. The family was unnerved but unharmed, which honestly, like, if you're not standing right next to it, if you're not looking over the bottle, how are you going to be harmed by it? You know? I
don't know. If it, like, spilled and then you slipped and fell and cracked your head open.
Jesus.
I don't know.
Okay. What is with you getting so dark so quickly? Okay, guys, off track. Let's just veer for a second. So yesterday, Sierra and I were talking. She goes, it would be cool if like everybody I knew like came in one room or like came for like one thing or like we're in one area. And she was like, for something other than a funeral. And I was like, okay, hold on. No, people that you know can be in one room for other things, like a reunion, a fucking birthday party. No. Sierra goes, a funeral. It's like, okay, whatever. All right. So many other options you could have gone with, but immediately a funeral.
That was the only one that really worked for the situation I was thinking.
Oh, dear Lord. Anyway, whatever. So, they didn't slip and fall and crack their head open.
Thank goodness.
Why are we switching right now? Usually, I'm the one that says these things.
I don't know.
I don't know what's happening. Anyway, so 5 days later, the family was preparing to enjoy a meal when popping sounds were heard again. And this time, James investigated himself and found a mess in several rooms. The bottles, again, were open and upended. So, like, this is the third occurrence. James suspected his son, Jimmy, which at this point is James Jr., who developed a fondness for, like, scientific experiments. And thinking that Jimmy had dropped, like, carbon capsules into the bottles, like, around the home to scare his mom. Now, James watched Jimmy, like, really fucking closely all weekend, which is just so funny to me.
He just, like, look up and he's just, like, staring over
your shoulder. He's, like, right there. Anyway, so when the popping occurred again on Sunday morning, despite the careful watching of, like, his son, James confronted Jimmy in the bathroom. Jimmy insisted that he did nothing wrong, like, popped back the fuck up, and was backed up when 2 bottles moved on their own in the room, which is very strange. James searched the bathroom for wire to no avail, and finally decided to call the fucking police department.
I mean,
okay.
Ghostbusters was not a thing yet.
Yes, but could you imagine calling the police now because of that? Like, why would you go to the police about it? Like, I would be calling a fucking priest, not a police officer. What are they gonna do, handcuff the fucking ghost?
I don't know. Maybe he didn't think it was a ghost yet.
Okay.
I don't know.
But, like, what else could it be?
I don't know James's life. You're supposed to tell me his
like
life.
if it's not the son,
right.
you know, which I'm still not entirely convinced it's not the son, because like him and Lucy, you know, they could be in it together. They are teenagers. Teenagers are bored.
Even when they shouldn't be.
Even when they shouldn't be. Anyway, so his good standing, as they went on to say, in the community led credence to his story, you know, his crazy ass story.
They kind of believed like he wouldn't make something up like that.
Yeah. So the police department, it's in like Nassau County, sent Officer James Hughes to the scene. During his inspection, not only did he witness the off-putting like popping noise, but the bottles, like the caps of the bottles, seemed to fly directly at Officer Hughes, which is what he called his like homeboy, Detective Joseph Tozzi, for reinforcements. Tozzi, a seasoned but skeptical detective, which Tozzi just seems like such a fun name. Like, it sounds like it should be a candy, don't you think? Like a caramel candy. I've created my own candy brand. Okay. It's called Detective Tozzi. It's
not just Tozzi.
No, Detective Tozzi. Okay. And like it should have like a little dog on the front. I've decided.
All right then.
Anyway, our homeboy Tozzi.
Yeah.
Not my candy.
Oh, darn.
Could you imagine if I just like created a candy brand? Especially because I cannot do anything of the sort. Like, I can make chocolate oatmeal cookies because they do not require baking, and it's like very simple. And this past time I fucked up because they didn't set right. But anyway, I just like a whole ass candy. Just can't imagine. I got the logo down and everything.
Yeah, to have a thermometer and everything.
Oh my god. That's too many steps. Nope. No thank you. Anyway, so now all I'm going to picture when I say Tozzi is caramel candy. Okay. So, he like set up like at the house. Like he was like, look, I'm going to watch this. I'm not going to like move. You guys need to stay in there so I can watch you and make sure you're not doing anything. So he took this position that all of the events had like a perfectly natural explanation, and the poppings continued in rooms no one was occupied in. So Tozzi was never able to confirm the reason for the phenomena. It wasn't until a porcelain figurine in full view of the Herrmann children and their second cousin Marie lifted itself off the side table and smashed onto the floor. Remained like completely unbroken though. Right?
Whoa.
Right? So like that has intent. Like I'm going to show you what is happening, like what I can do, and then I'm going to show you the extent of what I can do. Like I'm going to make sure it's completely untouched.
Like if I can put it on the floor, but I can also protect, like keep it from breaking.
Yeah. That's wild. When the incidents continued to like escalate, eventually graduating from like overturned bottles to overturned furniture, the Herrmanns became desperate. They had left their doors more or less open to the public, you know, like homebodies, please come and help me. So they were like inviting people in, like homies, come on in. When the story became public and the incidents were filmed and televised, which so happens to be the first ever like time, it's like the first reality kind of television show, you know?
Yeah, okay.
So advice poured in from around the world, but the eerie events only escalated from there. A Catholic priest was soon invited inside the house to bless the house. However, they were still like super stumped, and this it's a priest, right? Yeah, this priest was called from the Church of St. William, the abbot, for guidance and like a spiritual aspect of it, because I mean he is a fucking priest.
Right.
His name was Father William McLeod. He arrived at the home and cleansed it with holy water, which we already know, like
It doesn't really matter.
No.
It doesn't affect it.
Yes. And so at this point, they actually give it a name, and they call it Popper, which, come on, guys. Get some more, like, creativity. You know? Like, there's...
Could have been Poppet.
What's a Poppet?
Poppet.
Isn't that one of those... No, that's a Boppet? Is that a Boppet?
Yeah, that's a Boppet.
Okay.
Poppet is like a old
Did you
British...
have one of those?
Yeah.
Yeah? I wanted one so bad. So bad. We would go to my rich cousin's house, and I would, like, want to play with that the entire time.
Wow.
They had one. I was like, let me have this.
Mm-hmm.
I had no hand-eye coordination, so I still have no hand-eye coordination.
There's still one at my parents' house.
I feel like I could be good at it, but, like, I also feel like there'd be too many things going on for me to get good at it. Mm. You know? That's why it took me so long to learn how to play video games. Because, like, the hand-eye coordination is not there. Anyway, Father William. He called for Popper, like, as the, like, entity. Mm-hmm. He called for it to leave, and then it straight up refused. Like, nah, homeboy, I'm good. By this time, the media had already caught wind of it and everything. It had been televised. And they had, like, eyewitness accounts of the supernatural activity corroborated by family members, police, and the church.
Whoa.
Yes. So, like, double whammy. No, triple whammy. Not a double. Okay. So, the Herrmann home was crawling with reporters, which, I mean, obviously, fanatics and curiosity seekers. And I can almost guarantee you that I would have been like, we need to go. Like, how far is New York? How far was it when we drove to Massachusetts? 21? Yeah, okay. We can do that. We did Massachusetts. We can do New York again. Like, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would have definitely been there. I would have need to know. So, anyway, the blame, like, was going, like, left to right, like, in a matter of seconds. I'm doing a lot of snapping this episode, and I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if I like it. I don't really snap a lot, but I do a lot of things with my hands. Mm-hmm. So, and you guys can't see that. But Sierra knows how much I move my hands. So anyway, the blame was, like, popping everywhere from Russia. It's Russia. And then, yeah, it's Russia. It was aggravating a family in Long Island, New York.
Yeah.
and then of course, aliens.
I'm pretty sure they don't care.
Or they really, really do care about fucking up somebody's life. Like, I mean, I really, really want to ride the It's Always Aliens vibe, but, like, this one seems a little much even for me.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't think they would really care.
Like, the hum last week, verified aliens. Okay, anyway. At this point, even fucking Time and Life magazines have, like, covered the story.
Wow.
Right? So the popping never waned, like, not even one time. Now, even, like, Herrmann himself, like, blamed the popper on teenage shenanigans. So, like, he's still of the aspect, like, it's Jimmy. Which, if it's not Jimmy, poor fucking Jimmy. Like, can you imagine your dad thinking that? Like, yeah. Come on now.
That's insane.
And, like, you know that James is all up in his business.
That's so unfortunate for him.
Right? I know I mentioned earlier, Marie, the cousin, when she was visiting, which they saw the porcelain figurine, she witnessed other, like, boulder occurrences while, like, the teens sat on opposite sides of the room. So, like, there was no way that they could have done it. Like, there was no way with the porcelain doll. And then she witnessed a chair tip over. There was no way they could have done that. Ultimately, it convinced them that it was not the fault of anyone in his family, but fearful for their safety, Herrmann moved them out of their house temporarily. Which, smart move. So, at this point, they bring in a fucking physicist. Physicist? Sure? Yeah? Okay. Robert Zeider visited the home with dowling rods, which are those things that kind of look like the wrenches that we get into, the furniture that we buy. Like, they're
yeah.
They're like this, and they kind of like go in and out.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll show you a video in a little bit.
Okay.
They're not as as effective because like of how easily they can be manipulated by your hands. So anyway, he claimed that underground streams had created a freak magnetic field below ground. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Detective Tozzi helped put together a geological survey, which poor fucking Detective Tozzi at this point, man.
He's like, I just want to be over this.
Like, I'm a police officer. Not even just a regular one. I'm a fucking detective, and this is what I'm doing.
Right.
Which, I mean, in the 60s this was 58. In the late 50s, there's not really a whole lot going on. Probably.
But still.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
I'm not great with the numbers.
Yeah.
In history.
Okay.
Because they haven't made it to the civil rights movement.
No.
Yet.
No.
And it's after World War II.
Yes.
So it's between there.
Yeah. So not a lot going on. Sure. All right. Anyway, so they put together this like geological survey, and no stream system was ever discovered. Instead, Detective Tozzi was left battered after being hit in the legs with a 1,000-pound bronze horse statue that had, quote, flown across the basement. How the fuck do they have that big of a horse statue in the basement?
Why?
Right.
How and why?
Right? Okay. At the time, no one was even in the basement with him.
What if it is the kids, but they have telekinetic powers?
Well, that was one of the things that they thought.
Yeah.
Like, that was one of the, like, options.
But it's not really proven that it's not them. Even if they're not in the same room, they could still, like, do things.
Yes. Where was I?
1,000-pound statue of a horse.
Okay, I totally fucked up, guys. It's not 1,000 pounds. It's 100 pounds.
But still.
But still, it's still really fucking heavy. I just, like, read back over my note, and I was like, that definitely has only 2 zeros instead of 3. Wow. So you guys are welcome for that mental picture of a 1,000-pound bronze horse. All right, anyway, investigations continued looking into, like, sonic booms from, like, overhead aircrafts to magnetic vibrations underneath the home, and changes in the water levels, but like no source, like one source was confirmed or like even ruled out, Mm-hmm. Nothing really explained the flying objects or the popping bottles. One woman named Helen Connolly convinced the Herrmanns that it was a downdraft from the fireplace, having experienced her own mess of moving furniture that was solved by the blocking of the chimney. However, installing a rotary metal turbine in the chimney was met with a porcelain figurine flying 12 feet and denting a table on the other side of the living room. Right? What?
Well, I don't understand how she could think that it was the draft thing to begin with.
Like if her furniture's moving, and then she puts in the blockage and then it stops, like...
Yeah, but how could that...
I don't know. We don't have a fireplace.
Is furniture made out of paper?
I don't know. I don't know how strong the wind is coming through the fireplace. Like, I guarantee you it's probably like her husband was fucking with her. Like, let's see how far she notices if I move it this far over. Like,
yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, even for her.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either.
Whatever, I guess.
The events were getting worse. Like, it gravitated all around Jimmy. Mm-hmm. As sugar bowls and ink bottles frequently lifted themselves and flew many feet before smashing onto tables and into the floor around him. One evening, a large bookcase in Jimmy's empty room toppled over without, like, any sort of provocation or anything like that. So while Jimmy was doing his homework, a record player flew 15 feet behind him. Another time, a globe in Jimmy's room, again aimed at Detective Tozzi, smashed into a wall. There was also the matter of a figure of the Virgin Mary smashed a mirror, like the figurine smashed into a mirror in the master bedroom.
7 years bad luck.
Yeah, and it's the Virgin Mary, so that's probably more. Now, a reporter, John Gold, reportedly witnessed a flashing, like his bulbs flashed, like his flash bulbs. Not them, they weren't flashing. I'll get it straight eventually. They flew into the air unaided and smashed into a wall. Actually, we have flash bulbs, don't we?
Yeah.
That's what those are. Magic cubes. My cute little magic cubes that are older than my stepmom, which I find hilarious. They smashed into a wall, and Popper was getting, like, restless, which, I mean, I would have fucking assumed that when he tipped over the bookshelf at Jimmy. Like, what?
And you think that the poltergeist targeted Jimmy since the dad thought it was Jimmy?
Oh, maybe. Yeah. All right. At this point, they were like, it's time to call in a parapsychologist, which...
I mean...
Yeah.
Now? But
yeah.
Whatever, I guess.
All right. The ones that they called in, their names were Dr. J.B. Rhine and his associate, Dr. J. Gaither, which I guess these people just don't have, like, full names because it's Dr. J. Gaither Pratt. Like, what does the initial stand for? I need to know.
Oh, I don't know.
Watch them both be John. All right.
Everybody's named James in this story. So.
Seriously. All right. So they were sent in to examine the phenomena and researching the physical, perhaps like human.
Oh.
All right. Human influencers, which could cause like the Herrmann haunting that was going on right now. So Duke University, they're getting fucking everybody involved. Like they've had Time fucking magazine and Duke University in at this point, okay? Like, I feel like I glossed over that, but like, what? All right. They hypothesized that paranormal events like those of Popper could be caused by adolescents with telekinesis powers or abilities, however you want to phrase that. Though typically seen surrounding young girls, such as Carol Ann, which is another case. 12-year-old Jimmy was the centrifuge of the Herrmann's haunting. However, what I don't understand, 12 is not a teenager.
Okay.
Right?
No, but... Okay.
Yeah, like... All right, anyway.
Preteen.
Yes. The researchers came to believe that the incidents in the house were being caused by an actual ghost or a poltergeist, which is like a vicious ghost, which I would say if things are getting thrown at you and things are being tipped over in your general direction, that's kind of a dangerous ghost.
Yeah.
These prankster ghosts traditionally targeted religious items, hence the Virgin Mary. And as the
holy water.
Yes, as the disturbances had done with the holy water, thank you, Sierra. And then the Virgin Mary statue in the Herrmann house. On the other hand, though, because you know I have to play devil's advocate in this, just so everybody's like, she's not even saying the scientific thing, even though I'm still riding the wave that it could possibly be aliens. Anyway, on the other hand, strong evidence remained for the idea that there was a human component behind the haunting. It had been noted that by the Duke researchers, that an adolescent child, usually a girl, was almost always among the members of the household being plagued by the poltergeist phenomena, which Lucy's still chilling there, you know?
But not a sweet thing like her.
No, girl would never. They believed it was possible that this young person might be capable of psychokinesis during the height of puberty. In every case, though, the young person might be unaware that he or she or they or them was unconsciously causing the events to happen, making them as bewildered as the adults around them. In the case of the Herrmann house, Jimmy, according to Detective Todsy's notes, I'm just going to call him Detective Carmel, man. Like, Detective Carmel's notes, was at or near the scene of the poltergeist disturbance more than 75% of the time. For many incidents, he was the sole witness. However, the detective had cleared the boy of deliberately causing any disturbances, which I'm still not convinced it might be Jimmy. Like, Lucy's just in the background, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't put it past her to try to get her brother in trouble.
Oh, hell yeah.
Obviously.
I mean, anybody that has siblings knows, like, you make it look like the other one did it. Like, that's rule number 1 of having a sibling. Rule number 2 is when you hit your younger sibling, you get them to shut up as quick as possible. Like, that's how it goes. All right. Like the others who came before him, Dr. Pratt was welcomed into the Herrmann residence and greeted warmly. This is a whole nother doctor. Mm-hmm. He explained that he had come as an observer, and he spent most of his time there chatting with Jimmy, playing cards with him, helping him with his homework, and generally just being around homeboy. Mm-hmm. There was no sign of the strangeness during the visit. Popper was absolutely quiet. Mm-hmm. Pratt then called in another colleague from North Carolina. Also, why are all these people coming from North Carolina? Mm-hmm. That's a lot. That's like the other 2 came from Duke.
Yeah.
So, which is also in North Carolina for those of you that don't know that. Together, they interviewed the family members that were convinced that none of them were perpetrating the hoax, and that then convinced them that none of them were perpetrating the hoax. Quote, the family was much too shaken for it to be a colossal hoax, Pratt told the United Press reporter. It seemed Popper did not want to perform for the scientists, though, which is also very strange. Mm-hmm. Things were quiet for the next several days, again, as though the poltergeist did not want to perform, which, I mean, if all of these people are suddenly up in the house, trying to see what you're doing, if I was a ghost, I would stop immediately. Just let me see how crazy I can make these people look, you know? Probably.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that, or just all the crazy things.
What do you mean? Intensify it even more. Yeah, no, I feel like I would be an asshole of a ghost and just be I would do all this intensity, all of this intensity, and then all of a sudden, the moment a scientist stepped in, and immediately stopped. There I go snapping again. I don't know what my deal is today. All right. They were quiet for the next several days. Then on March 2nd, 1 month after Popper first arrived, he decided to make himself known again. All of the Herrmanns were in the house to witness what took place. First, a dish vaulted from the kitchen cabinet and shattered on the floor. Then a night table flipped over in Jimmy's room. Popper was back, and yet there was still no explanation as to who or what he was. 2 days later, after March 2nd, so March 4th, a bowl of flowers slid down the dining room table and jumped into the air. And then a bookcase turned over and turned end to end in the cellar. The Herrmanns reported several other occurrences of glass bowls flying around, upended bookcases again. Also, how many bookcases do you need in a 3-bedroom home? Because we have 2, 1.
What's a bookcase?
What is that noise? Do you not hear that?
Yeah, it's like a.
Oh my God, oh my God. Okay, we're leaving that in just so I can tell you guys that we are still getting used to our ice maker and the
look. Oh my gosh. That scared me. I thought Bailey was dying or something. Jeez.
Oh no. It continues to make itself known. Okay, so Man, we are getting so many interruptions, and I'm telling Sierra to leave most of them in. But we are still getting used to our new fridge that we talked about at the beginning. And it just scared the absolute shit out of the both of us by making that very loud noise that you heard was our ice maker. Oh dear Lord, the look on your face was.
I thought it was all coming down for sure. Because it has so far to drop from where the tray
it does have a pretty far to drop
to the bucket thing.
Yeah.
And so it makes a lot of noise, and then it has the water sound, and it's just a lot.
Yeah, it's very, very, very loud, and yeah, it's just not a fun noise when everything else is quiet. Like, we turn off everything when we come in here. We unplug it to Emmett's tank so you guys can't hear that. We turn off our heat, so we're freezing our asses off right now. Not really, because I have like 3 blankets on me at all points of time. But yeah, so the fridge is like usually the only thing we don't unplug, and that honestly scared me so bad. And the look on your face, oh God, okay. Fucking ice monsters coming to get us.
I got my heart for a second.
Oh man. All right. Anyway, back to this. You guys are so welcome for as many detours as we are taking today.
This is a no highways tour.
Literally, okay. So the only way I drive is like off highways. Like, I turn off my like the highway thing on the GPS or whatever it is. And that's the only way I'll drive, because the highway stresses me out too bad. And it isn't my cup of tea. So what other way would you expect me to talk except for like veering off from one left turn to another? Like, there's just no other way for me to do this. So anyway, after the Herrmanns reported several other occurrences of like glass bowls flying around, which I think I said. And then 1 month and 8 days after the initial quote popping, the poltergeist would pop one last bottle of bleach in the basement, a phenomenon witnessed by Dr. Pratt and Dr. Roll, and remain inexplicably. It fucking remained quiet, y'all. We're just going to skip over that word altogether. Thanks to national exposure, though, the family granted, they established the word poltergeist, as a word. You know, it was, solidified.
Yeah.
As for the cause, though, the Herrmann family's distress, no definitive conclusion has ever been reached. The Life article describing their trials pointed out that often in reported cases of objects moving of their own volition, adolescent boys are present in the home, as one was in the case of the Herrmanns, obviously, Jimmy Jr. Perhaps they posited young men possess the capacity for telekinesis, or even young women or young babies, we don't know. Or perhaps, as the magazine fails to mention, they figure out how hard it is to see fishing wire, which,
no.
Eventually, unable to resolve the series of phenomena, they did what you've always hoped the family in a horror movie would do. They fucking moved. So, that is my case for this week.
All right.
Yeah. I'm not convinced that it's Jimmy. I think it's just
well, I guess you were saying that it could be from the massacre.
Yes.
But nobody really knows for sure.
No. And also, in a lot of times in these cases, there are teenagers present, and teenagers have a lot of fucking emotions during their teenage years. Puberty is a bitch. So it's not unheard of for that energy to feed into something that's already there and add more negativity to it, you know?
Right, yeah.
Which is kind of the line that I flow with, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it just, I don't know. It's very spooky. The ice machine really had me going. I was like, we're about to see a bottle pop. Where is my bleach? Like, I was prepared, but I really wasn't. Mostly because I cannot hobble away very fast at the moment.
No, you can't.
No, like getting up off of the couch, y'all, takes like a hot minute. It's bad, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. I can't imagine, like, if it really was Jimmy, like, why wouldn't he do? I guess he did quite a few different kinds of things.
I just don't understand why it would last only a month and 8 days. You know?
Maybe he just got tired of it.
Got bored.
I'm over it.
I really don't want to, like, I don't feel like it was Jimmy. Like, I feel like it was Lucy, like, making it look like it was Jimmy, because why would Jimmy push a bookshelf over near himself?
Yeah, in his room. Then he's got to clean it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That would definitely be something that I did to Grayson. Like, 110%.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. If it was going to be anybody, it would probably be Lucy. But, yeah, I think the ghost idea is better.
Yes.
So.
All right.
I would say my top two would be Poltergeist, actual Poltergeist ghost, or the telekinesis, because...
See, my top two are Poltergeist, obviously, and Lucy. Like, just Lucy fucking around. Like, I don't know how the fuck she did it. I don't know how the fuck she did it.
Yeah.
But I feel like if it's not an actual poltergeist, because poltergeists do exist, but, like, in this case, just because there's so many weird things in it, like, it may or may not be Lucy. So, yeah, that's the vibe I'm riding right now.
All right.
Yep. All right, well, I guess that's all I have for you. I'm going to stop talking for a second. You go for it, Sierra.
For 1 second?
For 1 second? Oh, God, that's not possible. We both know I talk too much. I literally pay someone to listen to me talk, so, like, it's always going.
There is that. But at least you, like, talk about things still, not just, like, random.
Oh, I definitely talk about random things. Oh, this is how I found out that my therapist has crystals, and I got to see her crystals, and then I showed her my crystals, and I was like, this is wonderful. Like, then we were talking about our horoscopes, like, I talk about the random things that pop into my head, just like I talk about the random things that pop into my head into this microphone, and hope that somebody is like, oh, I get that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I guess that's it.
That's it?
I guess.
Nobody's given me recommendations for shows, and I feel, like, personally attacked because...
I sent you one.
You sent me one?
Yeah.
What'd you send me? Oh, that one hasn't even come out yet.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh my God.
I'm always behind on the thing, so I feel like...
No, that one hasn't even come out yet. But I have some things to do this week. I'm going to paint your desk a lovely rose gold and black, and then I'm going to paint our dining room table, and then I got a couple new plants that need repotting, so I'll have some things to do. But, all right, seriously though, plug the thing so I can stop talking.
All right, well, you guys, you should know, if you don't know yet.
Motherfuckers, get it together.
Or if this is your first episode that you're listening to.
I apologize, but not really.
You can find us on Facebook and Instagram, Paranormal Podcast. And
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah? Most of the time.
Yeah.
On a good day.
I mean, you can find stuff there. We may not be there in the exact moment.
I mean, however, my phone usage has gone up this past month.
Yeah,
like, I was like
I
was looking at my screen time and I was like, oh God. Like, I get on Instagram. Seriously, when Sierra gets home, I'm like, so I saw this thing on Instagram today. And then like 20 minutes later, I'm like, this other video on Instagram. Like, it's a problem. But not really, because I'm bored.
Well, if you guys are on Instagram like Emily, you can find us at Paranormal Podcast, obviously. And we post the pictures from each case on there, and then things that Emily finds that she deems awesome enough.
Or relevant enough.
To go on there. They go on there too. I don't.
Do not tempt me, because I will put that as our episode title. The Case of Sierra Doesn't. You know what? No, it's done. I'm doing it. I'm fucking exhausted and you can't argue with me.
Anyway, okay, well, I feel like we should probably just wrap this up real fast now.
Too late.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, okay. P.O. Box. I'm going to remember this time.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Because I still have no idea.
P.O. Box 1416, Monroe, North Carolina, 28111.
That's 3 1s, motherfuckers.
That's right. So, send us things. I don't know. What do you send people?
I don't know. We haven't gotten anything. I mean, we've gotten things, but like things I don't want and things are not for me. So.
Yeah.
Send me jalapeno Cheetos. Sierra's eyes got really big.
I mean, if you send them, I don't have to buy them, so there is that. But,
that's my new favorite snack for some reason. I've been on a jalapeno Cheetos kick.
Be like a pen pal with us.
Oh, do it. You can get cute Maggie mail. Oh, speaking of Maggie mail, that is one of the perks of our Patreon, which is Paranorm Podcast on the Patreon. So, yeah, there's cool perks on there. Go check it out. I'm not going to tell you anything else because I don't feel like talking anymore. So, is that everything? Oh, send us an email at Paranorm Podcast. Find us at paranormpodcast.com. There's also a little
paranormpodcast@gmail.com.
There we go for the email.
Yeah.
Sierra
or on the website.
Yeah, because there's a little place on the thing to do that now.
Yeah.
Also, I'm really awake now. I'm going to crash.
Oh, jeez. Okay, guys.
It's coming down hard.
We'll see you. We'll hear. No.
We won't see you.
We won't hear you either.
We'll hear the fucking ice machine. God. I'm like stressed now.
Oh my god.
Like I feel like I have hives. Do I have hives?
No.
No, thank God. Okay.
Anyways, you'll hear from us next week.
Probably, if I don't crash this burning ship already.
Well, anyways, we hope that you have a great week.
What a clusterfuck of an ending. Sierra's rubbing her head.
Shout out to New Mexico.
Because we got New Mexico finally.
Yes.
That was super cool.
Welcome to the fam.
Literally. So you guys, you know the drill. Shout it from the fucking rooftops. Stop that weirdo down the street because you know they'll like us. The best way to help our podcast grow is to share it. And as usual, we love you guys. And as you know, I don't usually say that. So, I must really mean it. Like, I must think you're cool or something.
I mean, or something.
But anyway, have a good week. We're gonna get through this week. I have a doctor's appointment to hopefully get my boot off. So wish me luck. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.